Welcome everybody to the new edition of our Fireside Chat European Town Hall, also known as. Today we have very nice guests. So we have Soundrig, TMinusOne, and hopefully also Patreon and Maker joining us later. As usual, we want to start reading the mantra of Catalyst. So I will start by myself for the first line because I'm Italian, so I can read properly only the first line. And I will ask our guests to proceed with the other ones. So, benvenuti all'esperimento.
Les choses peuvent.
Want to take the next one?
Quebra.
Quebra. Oh, I was going to go.
Oh, sorry, man.
Awesome. Go ahead. It's very nice.
Stay on mute. Stay on mute.
Everybody stays on mute.
Fehlende Dokumentation.
Differir ampliamente entre interacciones.
Maciej and Rafael.
Disorient, overload, and inspire.
Yes. Our goal is to provide a safe and lively environment for you to explore the highest potential de la colaboración humana. And also we have our dedicated mantra, something that we in Europe want to differentiate from the other town halls. Do you want to proceed?
Notes? Yeah, keep your notes up to date. Try to learn or study. Did I mess that one up? It's one line. Try to study or learn something new every day.
Yes.
Support and connect with community members for synergy and goals. Then you need to fly.
Mm-hmm.
And then be inclusive, friendly, and wise with words, even in anger. Share information without destroying dreams, people, or their reputation. Especially important with Catalyst today.
Yes, indeed. Fantastic. Thank you, Marcus. We want to remember that we have our own Catalyst proposal. It will be very important to keep our work proceeding well. We want to do more compared to what we are doing now and do it better. So please remember to spare a vote for us. And also we want to remind that we have an idea fest planned for the next September the 7th. This is the link that you can use for getting more information.
And aside from that, we have also for everybody who wants to present the projects before or after Catalyst, hook us up if you want to have a solo interview, talk about a project, or if you have updates regarding your projects, not longer than 15 to 20 minutes. And we record it usually the next day after it's on our YouTube channel.
Exactly. We can make this interview and present our project in our YouTube channel. That is some help, extra help we can give.
Can you guys put the link on the chat or?
Yes,
the YouTube channel?
I mean, for the presentations, the YouTube channel, I have it already.
Yeah, you can find everything also in our Discord server.
Yeah,
there is a section with all the links. There.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
You're very welcome. So I think we can start with Soundrig. If Sunny wants to present, it's your time. Unmute yourself. Thank
Absolutely.
you.
Thank you so much. Okay, so Soundrig, for those who don't know, is a music distribution platform using the technology of Cardano Web3 to give a platform to music artists from all over the world. We're going for primarily independent music artists, upcoming undiscovered talent from every part of the planet, but also for music artists who are established as well. Now, there's two parts of Soundrig that are very important, but they obviously intertwine to make this beautiful space. And that is the social impact element. So Soundrig is a social impact enterprise. And we are using the power and love of music to do the following things. One is to elevate people, especially from disenfranchised places in the world, underprivileged areas of poverty, in developing countries and in so-called developed countries where there's obviously massive divides of wealth, right? Where you've got rich areas and you've got poor areas, and the distribution of opportunities is massive. So we want to cater for all these people. Hence why we've got two proposals. One proposal is for the platform itself. Now, if we are to do mass onboarding through the love of music and to be able to give artists from all over the world the opportunity to upload their music and their content in what we call tunes, so that's our music NFTs. They are multimedia music experiences. The best analogy I can give you is what DVDs did for movies, we've done for music. So you get the main content, so the songs that may be available everywhere else, but on top of that, you get extra content which is exclusive. So it might be official remixes, duets, behind the scenes, bloopers, spitting fire in the booth, whatever the artist wants to put out and wants to, however they want to connect with their audience and their fans, they can put that. And the player that we've created, which is proprietary technology, it was the first one of its kind last year, and it's an encrypted player which connects to your wallets, right? So that's the main platform, and we've been running on MVP for the last year, and we really want to be able to get this out into the hands of as many music artists and creatives as possible in the world. So what we need to do is take it from MVP to where we need to be, and that is eventually a mobile application which stands as an onboarding tool for the masses, basically anyone who's interested in listening and buying music and supporting artists, to the music artists themselves. And the other side of it is obviously for them to be able to make revenue from their craft, right, from their passion. So we want to be able to enable artists to not only get their music out on the normal streaming sites, but if anyone knows the music industry, they know that streaming sites are blind robbing every artist out there, especially the ones that don't have the same weight as the big stars, right? So this pool model that they've got is unsustainable. And so we are looking to reverse that, and we're basically turning the music industry on its head, but we're not fighting it. That's not the point. The point is to give another choice, right? For music artists, another revenue stream. We know that we can't replace the music industry, but we can definitely create something where there's an alternative, which that they can plug into as well, and raise even more money for their music careers. And so that's the first proposal, is to give us the funds to build this out and to get it out en masse. And the other proposal is the social impact side. So, and this is where they're intertwined. So some of the artists that we have waiting to release music cannot actually release music. These guys are in a refugee camp. It's in Kenya. It's called Kakuma Refugee Camp. There's 250,000 plus people living there, and apparently it's growing every day, I've been told. And with these artists have got immense talent, and there's no way that they can even contribute to the music ecosystem and have their voices heard and tell their stories through music, because they don't have the place to record it. They don't know how to record it, in fact. So what we decided to do was build the first music studio in a refugee camp. And it's the first one of its kind. It's never been done before. It's definitely groundbreaking. And what we want to do is prove to the world that it's possible. And we want to do it with the Cardano community, because what I feel is, if we get this done, which we will, and I feel that the words that will be spoken when these people in the future will say how they got this done and where they first launched on Web3, the first word that will come out of their mouth will be Cardano, right? And so I feel that having developed on the platform, which I felt to be the safest, most secure, the best community, and the best vision for the future, well, if we're building here, we want them to come to Cardano first. After that, they're welcome to explore the rest of Web3, of course, right? It's all about self-determination and free choice. So if they do that, they as welcome. But I've got a feeling that if they did leave Cardano to explore, they'll definitely come back, because everywhere else is just a shit show at the moment, to be fair. So I feel that by us coming together, and when I mean coming together, there's something that we've started called Project Simba, and Simba stands for Social Impact through business alliances. And what that means is different projects and companies coming together in real life and on Web3 to make the impact that we need, right? And it's basically a movement. So it's not going to be just one thing. The first project of the first initiative of Project Simba will be Kakuma Studios. So this is the studio that we're going to build in the refugee camp. And we're doing that with Sustainable Ada, who I believe also have a proposal out. They are going to be ensuring that they document all the impact that we make. So they've got a yearly report coming out about impact that Cardano makes. They'll do that for this studio as well. They'll show where the money's been spent, how it's been spent, what impact is being made, and how the youth are doing and how they're using it, right? We got Color the Blockchain. Color the Blockchain is King Mizo, and he's a rapper producer, and he's going to be helping us to go to Kenya and install it. No, he's not only going to install it, but because he's the producer and his wife is a filmmaker, they're going to document everything from the moment they land to the opening of the studio. And then we will use that content to obviously show what we're doing, but also put that into the music, the tunes that we're going to sell. So what they're going to do is they're going to basically record the first ever album that they've ever done with an outside artist, which will be amazing. So all the talent from the refugee camp plus King Mizo will create an album. And then in that album, we'll put all the behind the scenes, all the interviews and bloopers and stuff. And that will be only for the people that do it, right? And that'll be their first album. And we will give 100% of the proceeds to the camp to kick it off. And the idea is for it to be a self-sustaining studio. So artists will be able to use the studio for free for life. And then when they release something, 10% of their earnings will go back into the running of the studio. What we want to raise is enough money to take the pressure off and give them at least 1 year's worth of funds to run, right? And so after that first year, hopefully the whole project will be sustaining itself. And I'm really pleased to say, I mean, we put out a post because of this. I mean, it is our version of build in public, hashtag build in public. But we had a meeting the other day with where I got to introduce the residents of the refugee camp and the management team with two very special people. One is one of our partners from the UK, Out There Studios. They're a filmmaking production company, and they're also going to be investing in Soundrig. They're looking for funding at the moment. And the other one is Dr. Simon Otieno, and he is the head of the arts department at the University of Nairobi. And they love the project so much that they're signing an agreement with us to become the official education partner of this project. So if anyone from the refugee camp wants to go and get a qualification in music production, in filmmaking, in any of the arts, they will be able to do so with bursaries that we will hopefully be able to provide from the revenue and you know, actually elevate these people so that they can escape the refugee camp and make a life for themselves, and hopefully, you know, become stars or film stars or music, you know, whatever their dreams are. That's what we want to enable. And like I said, this will just be the first project of first initiative of Project Simba. And then after that, you know, the world is our oyster. We want to be able to do this in every city, in every country in the world. And as we continue, we will iterate, you know, from everything we learn, we'll iterate and continue. So that's what we're building. And we have Soundrig already live. Like I said, it's an MVP. We've been live since last year. We have artists who are live and you know, selling music. And we're doing it on a one-to-one basis. I've been onboarding people brand new to Web3 since last year, educating them, telling them everything. But what we need to do is automate that process, because if we want to put this in the hands of everyone, I definitely cannot do this day in, day out. Like, it takes an hour per person, right? So what we want to do is and also there's the Alexandria project, Nudes, who we want to team up with, because they're doing education, right? So if we can get that education built into the onboarding process, we can streamline it and do it, you know, like I said, in large numbers for people of all languages, of all cultures. And that's essentially what Soundrig is. That's my last point. Soundrig is a melting pot of talent from different cultures, different languages, and different parts of the world, where anyone can come and find someone from their area they didn't even know was a music artist and support them in their early stage career. So, you know, we're not, like I said, we're not going to replace the music industry, but we're going to enable, and we're going to be that step, that missing step between people not having any way of getting music out there to becoming the top streaming stars, right? And that's what we're looking to do. Thank you.
Wonderful. Wonderful. And what I have to say is, yeah, you as a team, you're very approachable, and that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But I mean, that happens to all in the space, I think. But there are some persons who are extra approachable, and I think most of them, some of them are sitting in this room here today. So
Yes.
kudos.
Yeah, very nice. Very nice. Also, I really love your energy. You are really passionate about what you are presenting. That shows really very much.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Sandy.
I hope it does, because it's coming from the heart. We're not doing this for the money, put it that way, right? I believe that our success will be measured by how much impact we make and how many lives we change. The success will come, the money will come always if you're trying to help people, but it's about being in service rather than for profit. So I always use my tagline is people over profit, right? Because that's the way it should be. And especially coming from where we are, I mean, look at the reasons why the blockchain exists, why the technology was created, right? And then the original vision of Charles as well. This is why he wanted to. This is why he broke away from Ethereum and created Cardano in the first place. So we need to really align ourselves with that and make the real world impact happen. And I feel that now is the time to do it, because with the SEC being on everyone's case and trying to say that we're all this and that, the only way to prove it to the world that we are different and the blockchain is for the people is by doing stuff like this, and not by keeping it an ecosystem that only, you know, people that are into tech or whatever have access to, right? It needs to be opened up for everyone, I believe. Anyway, any questions?
Yeah, I actually have a question. Do you also have some cooperation going on with the other music-related projects in Cardano? I was thinking about Newen, but also Demo is another reality that now has some proposal on Catalyst.
Sorry, what was the question? Are we connected with them?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know I've done a session many a time, and we're ready as soon as they're ready to plug in, because one thing that I know for a fact is it's better to do one thing brilliantly rather than try to do everything, right? So we're not going to do what Damie's doing. What's the point in reinventing the wheel? Damie's already doing it. So we will plug Soundrig directly on top of, because it's going to be a DApp, and it's going to be a DApp for all of Web3 as well. So it would make sense for us to team up with Damien and, you know, and have the music rights and royalties and all that tracked by their technology for our artists. And, you know, when it comes to New, they're doing slightly different model. And I'm always saying to artists, go for everything. It's not about or, it's about and, right? Every artist, if they want to like thrive in the music industry, they need to be plugging into every accessible place where they can release music and make revenue. So I'm always saying that, like, you know, go for everything, right? Every chain, every platform, and obviously pick the right ones for you, but don't pigeonhole yourself into one place, because it is like counterproductive, I believe.
Not every founder is as brave as you, and that's exactly, but that what you say is just exactly the right attitude. I highly support that one. We have another question from Boaz.
Yes, exactly.
If you have slides and if you could share them, I would suggest to increase the engagement in our server. Sunny could upload them into his project item, so then he can share them on his own terms.
Perfect.
And then you can find them there. That would be a great one.
Looks
Sunny,
like that will be the last thing I do tonight. So after this meeting, I will upload the deck that we have for the social impact, and one for the artists, if there's any artists out there, and them two should, you know, basically show everything you need. But also, if you go to our Twitter /X, I've created some promo videos and stuff like that basically outline what we're doing. in Kurkuma and what the project is in terms of the platform as well.
Do you want to introduce Niels?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I have the greatest pleasure to introduce my, I guess you want to say my employer, but my team member, my teammate, sorry. And yeah, so this is TMinusOne, and TMinusOne is going to be the only place that anyone will want to launch their tokens, and anyone will want to buy tokens from because of what we're doing. And I'll let Niels explain exactly what's happening and how it works.
Yeah.
You should now only see TMinusOne.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for the introduction, Sunny. And yes, I'm not his employer. I am together with him. We are part of the team, but I will go into this more detail later. So I'm going to present to you TMinusOne. Launching a project has never been so easy. So yes, what does it do? What do we need? What is the problem we are solving? This is, for me, this is always the central question, right? Nothing has value if there's not a problem that's being solved. So right now, if you go to Cardano and you want to launch your project, then you will figure out that you have to click through at least 10 different pages of documentation on how to create your token, or you go to some platform that rips you off a lot of fees for launching it. So the problem is we want projects that build on Cardano. We want a lot of projects, right? We want the ecosystem to thrive. And this is currently being hindered by just the sheer difficulty of creating a token if you want to have a token that works with your project. And also, if you are maybe not so technical and you have issues creating your token, then this puts investors at risk because, I don't know, you could have some issues with your policies and then the life cycle is broken or decimals are missing or whatsoever. So in comes TMinusOne, the one-stop shop for project creation. You go there, you can mint your token there. You can assign all the metadata, all the standards, CIP 25, 26, 67, whatever. There's new standards every once in a while, and we are implementing all of them. Then you want to do your initial token offering, you want to do liquidity bootstrapping, you want to vest your tokens for your team members, you want to have tokenomics that are verifiable and transparently displayed based on the vesting on chain, for example. You want to have your token verified on different platforms. And the list goes on, but this is basically everything we provide. And yeah, if this hasn't convinced you yet, the whole thing is going to be completely decentralized, so completely based on smart contracts, the vesting, the minting, the bootstrapping, and so on. So you can really audit it. There's like transaction hashes connected to every action that you do on the platform, and you can check that everything is going well. And regarding the liquidity bootstrapping, it's very interesting also that we have these strong partners, MusliSwap, Binance, and SundaySwap. They're all behind the project and cooperating with us regarding the, however we can cooperate on these topics. Who's building this? It's me. Surprise. I'm Niels. I'm also building MusliSwap. I've also built a programming language for smart contracts called Option, which is based on Python. So I have a lot of experience on the very technical parts of the thing, and I want to push this through because I see that there's this issue for people that are not so technical, right? And then we have Sunny, who you have met before. He has a lot of experience with building a community, and he's very passionate about all of these things, which is great. I am sometimes very short on communication, so perfect implementation for the team. And then Igor, he's taking care of the also technical stuff, but more involvement for all other people. He's also operating an independent stake pool. So he brings on a lot more networking stuff. And Stephen, he's advising us from the side of White Finance and brings in a lot of knowledge. He also has his own tokenomics company, so there's a lot of stuff that's coming in from there. Right. And yes, this whole thing is itself launching soon-ish, but I am not so much a friend of words, more a friend of, let me show you what we have. So, I mean, this is our website, and now we are on the staging website. So we can actually already see there's a form where you can just create my awesome token. This is just a very, very basic start, and it has to be visually appealing for non-Web3 audience to easily onboard, and it has to be very simple. Then you put your description here of the token, put the my awesome token, and supply should be some large number, whatever. You put your logo here, and then you can see later that we have all kinds of standards implemented, and the minting policy is properly set up. It's actually smart contract governed, not even the native scripts, if that tells you something, and all of these nice gimmicks. So that's that. We can continue. Right. This was it already. I speedrun the presentation. But the most important thing is, if you want to launch a project, come to us. That's it. And you can find us on Twitter and on X. It's a very funny joke I just made up. And on T-1.pro. All right, shoot your questions.
Yeah, I have a couple of questions, actually.
Yes.
The first is, can you give us an explanation of the name that you choose? T-1, it's appealing.
Yes. This name comes from space stuff. No, I forgot the English word for this, but basically I'm a big fan of all things spacey. And shortly before launch time, you say like T-5, 4, 3, and 1 is 1 second before launch. So basically, when you visit our website, you're already about to launch.
And another question is, are you thinking also of providing consultancy for creating tokenomics for projects?
So this is actually where Stephen comes in, because he has his own tokenomics company. So we are kind of cooperating to help people reach out to Stephen to create the tokenomics. And
I can explain as well here. So this is how actually I met Niels, because I was working with Stephen on tokenomics with some of his clients, right? And because I was never really into the tech side, and this was something that fascinated me, but I didn't understand it. So when I met Steve, and he was like, he took me basically with him, and now I'm learning tokenomics, but from one of the best in the world, right? So that was amazing. And then he knew what I was capable of in terms of marketing, community building, and onboarding non-crypto people, because that's what I've been doing for a long time. And so he brought me along, and then thankfully, Niels accepted. So I'm gonna be working with them. And as we go forward, we're gonna really try to fix the issue with people being afraid of tokens and crypto and the whole blockchain industry, right? By creating a space where they feel safe, and we can, ensure that projects are on smart contracts, that everything is going to be going well. And, so that's what I'm here for. But in terms of tokenomics, anyone that wants tokenomics done for their projects will be taken care of by Stephen's company on the site.
Wonderful.
Cool, thank you very much.
Will there be kind of, I don't know if you already can answer that, like from the business side, will there be certain packages, book package 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or how do I imagine that?
Yes, that's a great question. So with T-1, of course, comes its own token, which is TM1. And then based on how much of these tokens you hold, this is the utility and governance token for the platform. So one, you can participate in governance and also suggests kind of like these directions and how do you say, interact with us on how this should all be sketched out. But then also there's going to be tiers, like there's of course some fees attached to this platform, and then if you hold more, these fees go away, or maybe you have access to more advanced features, more advanced standards, or smart contracts, at some point even customized smart contracts and these things. So yeah, there's a bit of layering in this platform, and but the basic idea is that you can get started right away, even for free. Like you go on this platform, you just play around, and you have your own token first in your wallet, and then you're like, wow, nice. And then you can think about, okay, maybe I want to do it in a premium way for a proper, like very big project, or I just want to have my hobby project, and then the free version is perfectly fine. And then you have like a very, very easy onboarding experience.
Nice. Nice. I think that will help a lot of people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Definitely. Very cool.
It's
So-
very cool. Exactly. I see there is some interlap with the service also with companies like GeniusX, no?
Yes, exactly. So there are projects like Kick.io and GeniusX. These have the downside that they are actually very centralized, and like there's little to no way to audit how, like for the public to audit how stuff is going on in the back. And we want to just make this very transparent and bring everything on the chain, from basically from the moment you mint, over how the tokens allocated for team members and for investors, over the sale, and then liquidity bootstrapping and all of these things, completely transparently happening on chain.
Very, very cool. So you are somehow are proposing yourself also as partners for new projects.
Yes, I mean, if you want to, like, if you need some assistance that extends over what is easily provided by the UI, then you can of course like reach out to us, and we will find a way to help you make your project real, right?
That's cool.
And we have of course put a lot of thought into how it's designed, and also helps you guide through, okay, what should I myself look at when I launch something on this platform or through this platform. Yes.
Very, very nice. If it will be possible to put those slides also in our Discord server, I think that
Yes.
that will be very, very useful to
I
everybody.
think Sonny had another evening where he created already the start of the service. But yes, add those links, and also the proposed links, but I think you did already.
Yeah.
So wonderful.
Niels, I'll take care of it. If you want to send me that, then
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Sonny.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to finish today. I knew it.
And it's an occupational hazard, right? When you're doing something you love, it's like you just can't stop working, for sure. But you know what
Perfect.
I'm really excited about with T-1 is it's been the Wild West for way too long in the cryptosphere, and we've just been crying out for somewhere that, you know, is more civilized and allows people to participate without getting completely done over. And I feel that this is definitely going to be the place for that to happen. So I'm very excited to be part of this project for that.
Wonderful. I have one suggestion, Niels.
Sure.
For the last slide, learn more. Maybe you can put the X exactly on top of the bird. It marks the spot.
Like a crosshairs.
That's exactly what happened. Yes.
I didn't say that one.
No.
Perfectly fine. Cool. I think we can close with that. What do you think? I think we have everybody who wanted to talk.
Yeah. If anybody has a
who's
question.
here. Other than that, I think we're cool, and we kept the time.
Yeah.
Which is good. Unless Rafael or Maciej, you have something that you want to spontaneously let us know.
Yeah, we
that?
still have some time left. So if anybody has a other question or want to speak,
Or
telling us.
Sonny, why did you use the name Simba? I remember Simba as the lion, right? Of this, is it?
Yeah, I mean, everyone knew Simba from The Lion King, right? And
Yeah.
when I obviously social impact were the first two letters, right? Of so when I tried to come up with a word, an acronym for what we were trying to do, and obviously alliances, business alliances, what I was going for. This is something that had been percolating in my head for a very long time, and there was no glue or some way to bring it together. So social impact, SI, and then I just Simba is the first thing that came to my head, and then I researched the word and I spoke to the guys in Africa and Kenya, and I was like, what this? And so on the Google search, Simba means strength and lion, right? So I asked them what that meant to them, and they explained it to me in the same words basically, but they were like, very strong name. And I was like, that's it then. So because Project Simba again is a movement, right? It's exactly what it is, social impact through business alliances. So the idea is to get as many different alliances for different projects and make the impact, but also it's about profit for good. I don't think profit should be stigmatized. People need to live and survive and thrive as well, right? So what we're saying is people's time and knowledge is very valuable, right? So if they can just commit that, they can get paid through whatever business it is, at least get their costs back and maybe a little bit of profit. But the amount of impact they're making through their knowledge and time given is what drives things forward. It's not necessarily money, right? It's people that drive ideas forward. So by bringing people together, we can make it happen, is what I'm trying to say. So, well, and we're proving the point with the first one, like with the Kakuma. Actually, if you don't mind, what I did was I started talking and I completely forgot to share when you reminded me after about the thing. But I'm just going to quickly show you what I'm going to upload, if that's okay, right?
Of course.
Sure.
Okay.
Please do.
Okay, so this is what is going to be on the Discord. So just look out for this, and then you'll see the deck and the video that I've made and posted, on our Twitter X is basically this in video form. So if you don't like reading, you can watch the video. If you don't want to read, you've got this. Okay. And so it's an introduction of Kakuma itself, the issues that are there. And this was actually before I got all the other partners involved, right? So it was just me. It was going to be Color the Blockchain and ourselves doing this. And so explanation about who we are, principles, and this is the cost, right? So we've got the phase one, which is the actual building and securing the building and, setting up of the studio. That's going to happen before. And then the mission phase two is the equipment. So once we've actually got the building like ready to be secure, but we just need the funding to actually make it happen. And then we need to like renovate it, get it ready for a studio. Once that's done, and also the team, we want to have money in place for the team to be able to operate this. So 3 security guards from the camp. So we're creating jobs in the camp itself. A studio manager, an assistant manager, and a cleaner, and a videographer and a video editor, right? So with all these people in place, the artists can come, make the music, learn how to make it, and then they'll have people to create the content for them in the background and manage the studio time so that, everything is fair, everyone gets equal time and stuff like that. And then after that, we want to get the studio. Now, I just want to say,
that is in your proposal, right? That's your proposal. Sorry for
in the proposal.
Okay.
Yeah. And all the videos, all this, the feasibility study that this guy Abedi, he's our man there. He's gonna be the studio manager, because he's had plenty of opportunities to leave the refugee camp and he's never done it. He's a social worker who grew up in the camp. So if anyone understands the people and the issues, he's the one, right? And so yeah, it's just a bit about us. That's Mizo. He's the founder of Color the Blockchain. And I just want to say about the funding. So obviously we don't have Cardano for Africa anymore. That was only last year and they got rid of that, right? And now they've just got an open category. So we could only apply for 75,000. This actually is going to be a lot more than what we're going to get, but it at least allows us to get phase one pretty much done, right? what we're going to do that is we're going to prove to outside investors that we have money because people believe in the project and it's been funded to a certain point. Then we're going to ask other people to plug that gap basically and allow us to get both of these phases completed. And that's the idea, because if we get that first proposal for that done, that 75,000 ADA will go directly for this project. The other one would be to get the platform ready to help these people and everyone else in the world, right? So everything's there, it's all accounted for. And so thank you for letting me show this after as well. I appreciate that.
Of course. The last image reminds me a little bit of DJ Jazzy Jav. No, not this one, but where he was rapping. No,
I never saw
I think
that
it's the slide
before.
before. I think it was the slide before. Above.
Yeah, above. Go above.
Yeah.
This
That
one.
one.
Yeah,
No,
no,
up,
yeah,
up,
above.
This
Yeah,
one.
looks like
Okay.
DJ Jazzy Jav. I don't know if you remember him.
Yeah, I'm old
yeah.
enough. I'm old enough. But
Cool.
this guy, he's an artist from a group called the Golden Family. And he's one of the artists that will be benefiting from this. They don't have anywhere to record. All they keep doing is endless talent events. And the only people who get to see the talents are the people in the refugee camp. So they're not actually moving forward, right? And they're not getting anything for it. And one thing that stuck with me was like, they said to me, imagine waking up every day, 365 days a year, from AM to PM. All you do is see the sun come up and see the sun come down. And you have to fill your time in that day with something. Imagine that, right? So that's what we're trying to help and fix.
That's a good one. Cool. David?
Yeah, cool. I think
Thank you,
that we
Sammy.
are. Yes.
Thank you.
So, yeah, we remember you that we can vote for our proposals. We are on Catalyst as well, as I introduced before. And yes, we also, as European Cardano community, we try to be more active, also making Twitter spaces in different European languages. So we have Italian, French, German, and so on. If anybody is interested in creating Twitter space in other local language, please get in contact with us. We'll be glad to help you out and to spread the word about Cardano in the community even more.
And you choose the topic, right? If there's
Exactly.
something that you want to talk about, for example, music or coding, right? Making a Twitter bootcamp, for example, right? You can do that. You're totally invited. You can do it in Firesidechat as well, right? So that's all fine. And I think, tomorrow is the last possibility to register for vote.
Today, I think
Today?
tomorrow
the
there
18th.
is a snapshot. Yes, yeah, tomorrow. I don't know which hour, but tomorrow there is a snapshot. So we should have done that. Better to do that today.
Yeah, so today's the last day to register for the vote.
Okay, cool.
Exactly. But the good news is that it seems that we'll have a Fund 11 pretty soon. We don't have to wait so much time like we did for Fund 10. So we can also fund the proposal later on with for Sunny. I mean, if the 75,000 are not enough now, in a few months, you probably got another chance.
Actually, that could be perfect timing, to be fair. Yeah, it would probably take about 2 months or 3 months to get to that stage anyway with that.
Indeed.
So, yeah.
You just have to delay block time a bit, and then it's all one.
I mean, it's easy. It's easier said than done, man. I'm telling you. I imagine that as soon as we secure that building, they'll probably just get in there and start doing stuff themselves and waiting for the equipment.
Wonderful, thank you.
Yeah. Also here we have all the links for our social media and Twitter and Discord server where you can find us every day at every time. We are mostly always online for you guys. So please go on. This town hall will be recorded also. We will publish it on YouTube, so you can share it with your friends and who else is interested. And with that, I think we are gonna close, no?
Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Thank you very much. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.